What up, G Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share if possible because it does help out my channel. You know what I mean? Don't forget to click on the subscribe and the like because it's free. It don't cost anything. You'll be helping my channel out a lot. And check out the playlist where I have all my videos in the folders. Makes the video you're looking for a lot easier. You know, where there's reactions and all that. You find them instead of scrolling through videos. Now, what I wanted to talk about was something that one of my camaradas right here on YouTube, the homie Jesus, shout out to the homie Jesus, he had said in my previous video, where he had said, like, damn, it's crazy how everything always leads back to your childhood when we're talking about ill behaviors. And he's like, man, I wonder if there's anybody that's normal. Normal, like, I wouldn't say like normal, but a lot of people do suffer from a lot of things. You don't necessarily have to be a gang member for you to for something traumatic in your childhood to, you know, cause this ripple effect into your adulthood. You know, because there's people that have gambling problems. There's people that are alcoholics. There's people that are domestic, you know what I mean? Domestic violence, you know what I mean? They beat on their girls. There's individuals that are controlling. There's individuals that have abandonment issues. There's people that are, you know, like a lot of bad behaviors, you know, aggressive, short-tempered, and stuff like that. And these are all behaviors that manifest when we're kids. You know, something in our childhood is what, you know, creates these problems. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really believe the science and the research and everything like that. They just think that that anybody could just forget about these problems. They could just let go of them like that, like a snap of a finger, that they could just get over it, but they just choose not to because they want to be like that. That's ignorance. That's ignorance at its fullest. You know what I mean? And it's funny because there's these very exact same individuals that want to critique people, saying that why can't they just get over it? Why can't they just let it go? You know, them at one point in their life, maybe a relationship, maybe something where they just told them to let it go or move on, and they just choose not to. You see it, you know, time and time again, that people just can't let certain things go. Whether it's they hate somebody at work, or they dislike somebody, or just smashing beef with one of their friends or their family members. You know what I mean? They hold these grudges and act so bitter. And it's like, why can't you let it go? Why can't you let it go like that? As easy as that, just let it go. Like how you say for people just to let go of their issues. Let it go. Move on. What's the big deal? Why can't you just shake his hand and call it truce? But people can't do that. You know what I mean? There's people out there that people just dislike, or certain things that they just can't let go of, whether it's relationship and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, whether the person that they're with is just not good for them, but yet there they are. You know, people give them advice, but they don't take it. People, you know, all over the place, you know, at one point or another have had these things happen to them. Yet they don't bother to think about it right there and then, about like the advice that they want to be giving. Like, oh, what happened? I thought you said it was easy to let it go and to move on, and that you could just do it like that, and I don't know what. When you pour emotions into something, you see how difficult it could become. Even worse when something traumatic happened in your childhood that holds this grip on you. It is very hard, you know what I mean? You need like you know, some therapy and stuff like that, you know, but stuff that people don't ever want to do because they feel like it makes you weak, or they feel like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? When it's ridiculous. Talking about your problems is perfectly normal. As a matter of fact, it's not normal not to talk about them. That's how they become suicidal and very dark, and, you know, and like bitter and stuff like that. You know, and those, you know, that's not a good way to live. You know what I mean? You know, because a lot of people tend to hurt themselves. You know, when they go down that spiral. So, you know, like I said, it doesn't only have to be gangs. It could be all of these other problems that still are bad and ill problems, you know, nonetheless. You know, because these individuals are very difficult to be around for, you know, one reason or another. And like I said, you know, when we're children, right, our brain is soaking up everything like a sponge, right? And our brain is building up our character, right? Our brain is grabbing, you know, details, you know, here and there, and what's building up your character, right? And if you're being molded to see life like this because this is all you see, this is the norm, right? People yelling or fighting or any of these ill behaviors, or neglection, you grow up thinking that that kind of behavior is normal, that that's how people talk, that that's how people spend their time, that that's how people supposed to interact. You get what I'm saying? So you grow up literally thinking that there's nothing wrong with the behavior in which you're displaying because it's all you know. You know what I mean? And it always goes back, like I said, especially, you could have like let's just say like not the best parents, right? But at the end of the day, they're still your parents. You know what I mean? And you're still gonna hold some kind of attachment, bond, love, towards that, even if they do like horrific and heinous things. As a matter of fact, some people even trick themselves into forgetting about these memories or these incidents, or acting like if it doesn't happen. The power of the brain is people don't understand. The brain is very sensitive and very powerful. You know what I mean? It can make people hallucinate. It can make you think, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? The people think that they have everything under control when it comes to this thought. Your brain is already thinking about scenarios and situations way before you even realize what's even happening. Your brain's already, working. Your brain never stops working. You get what I'm saying? So to think that you have the upper hand is ridiculous. Because the research says so, you know what I mean? By the greatest minds all over the world. Now, so it starts building up your character, right? So you start grabbing all these things, and if you're having a ill childhood, or you're seeing nothing but chaos, violence, or bad behaviors, or stuff like that. It's gonna take a psychological toll on you as you're growing up to adulthood. You get what I mean? It's why a lot of people, some people are scared of the dark, some people are scared of heights, some people have abandonment issues. You know what I mean? Some people are very controlling. Some people are, you meet somebody that's just so stubborn, and you tell them and they still don't get it. And you're like, damn, like how could somebody be like that? I'm telling you, because that's all they know from a child. That's how they were bred to be. Because remember, it's more easier to get traumatized as a child than it is than when you're an adult. It's a lot harder to get traumatized when you're an adult. It is possible. You know what I mean? It's just more difficult. That's why 9 times out of 10, all these bad habits or behaviors and all that could be traced back to the childhood. You get what I mean? And like I said, it needs some therapeutic help. You know what I mean? Some sessions to maybe understand. Once people realize this, the healing can finally start. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly normal. You know what I mean? Everybody needs help in this world. At one point or another for something. Can't be ashamed to ask for help. You know what I mean? Like I said, for those who want to critique those who ask for help or seek help and stuff like that, those are the naive, the ignorant, and are you really gonna let your whole world around you collapse just to bring some satisfaction to these ill people? Like, come on now. You know what I mean? Because their intentions is ill. You know what I mean? So why are you gonna feed into that? But yeah, so it does lead up. That's why I always say, how you look, because it's normal to fight with your spouse, right? It's gonna happen. You guys are gonna have arguments, fights, because I have people like, oh, so what? I guess all kids are doomed because all relationships fight and everything like that. No, depending how you argue, arguments are gonna happen, fights are gonna happen. Depending how you guys argue, depending how you guys fight, you know what I mean? If it gets physical, if horrendous things are being told, like I hope you die, or stuff, in that manner, or you're just a slut that sleeps around and stuff like that in front of your kids. Those are stuff that shouldn't be said, and arguments that shouldn't be having like that. You know what I mean? Disagreements, and all of that, whatever. I always say to not fight in front of the kids, to take it to the room. You know what I mean? Try to keep the voices down. But if it happens, it's okay, as long as you bring some reassurance to the kid after. Like, oh, it's okay, we had a disagreement. You know what I mean? So, make them understand that everything's fine, and stuff like that. just to bring some ease to their mind, because as kids, they're gonna be worried, they're gonna get scared. You know what I mean? And if you don't bring no reassurance to them and stuff like that, it could take a toll. Especially there's some people out there that yell some stupid ass stuff like, well, I don't even want the kids either way. Like, you could keep them, and like shit like that. You know what I mean? And these kids are hearing, and my boy, those, I've have heard people say some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Some crazy outlandish stuff, and it's like, I feel bad for the kids. You know what I mean? That their parents could be so ignorant and naive, and then people wonder why some of these people turn out to be screw ups in the head. I mean, like shit. With everything that was put on their plate at such a young age. I mean, like. Like, how could you not see that this was a perfect recipe for disaster? I think that the more people realize that how important it is to be a parent and who you have kids with and stuff like that, because that's crucial, is the day that times will be better. You know what I mean? Because it is that important. Anybody that suffers from any kind of shit, whether the streets and everything like that, could tell you that they wish they had a better bond and relationship with their parents and stuff like that. You know what I mean? If there was more communication and understanding and bond, and a lot of people take that for granted. And then those who don't know what that is, want to criticize, but it's like, put yourself in them shoes. Because some of these people go through some crazy shit, molestation, beaten, starved, tortured. Like, you have no idea. But I'm just saying, M Shadow, we out.